Can foreign aid work? Donald Trump has stopped USAID, the world's biggest aid agency, from giving out any cash.
USAID, run by radical lunatics.
His decision is an extreme example of a much broader trend. Rich countries are shrinking their foreign aid programs. I went to Lilongwe in Malawi, one of the world's most aid-dependent countries, to find out what exactly decades of aid has done. I am just in the grounds of Kamuzu General Hospital, which is Malawi's biggest hospital. There are lots and lots of aid programs here that get all their funding from America. There's an HIV clinic here, there's a maternal health clinic here. Malawi is one of the most aid-dependent countries on the planet. Most of it goes to trying to get the economy growing. Lilongwe is here, in southeastern Africa. It was built up by the World Bank in the 1970s. The idea behind aid at the time was simple. The rich world would help boost economic growth in poor countries, while also advancing its own foreign policy interests. In the 1990s, aid was linked to democratic reform, because policymakers believed that corrupt politicians were what was keeping countries in poverty. By the 2000s, that was seen to have failed. Most aid started to go on healthcare and schooling, and this is where it's been most successful.
I want new measures that will be targeted to help the very poorest, so that when growth returns, people are in a position to contribute to their economy.
But improving human capital did not encourage economic growth. Here, the x-axis represents years in a decade. From 2014 to 2023, the world's 78 poorest economies grew more slowly than in the decade to 1970, when aid was first emerging. We can see these failings clearly in Lilongwe. Lilongwe really feels a bit like a graveyard of different aid sites. People cycle through here for 3 or 4 years, expats. They live in gated communities and then they leave. Middle-class Malawians will run maybe 3 or 4 NGOs through their lifetime, through different cycles of funding. And the signs of it are all around the city. Aid's failure to bring economic growth has in turn made the countries that get it more dependent on it. Every year, Malawians, for example, have had more spent on them by aid agencies than by their own government. Young, talented Malawians are more likely to start a charity funded by aid than build a business in the private sector. Malawian politicians are also more likely to win votes based on how they handle aid donors than anything else. The country's aid dependence has become a big part of why its economy is stuck. The impact of cutting foreign aid has already been painful for poor countries like Malawi, but it also offers a chance for their politicians to reimagine their economies.